all working on the same project with the same goals, the same intent. So
that's very good. Now, David, are you continuing with Banks Peninsula Conservation Trust?
Indeed, I am. Yes.
And then we have you again.
Oh, Mr. Mayor, as if to possibly prove that you can have too much of a good thing, I regret to advise that in terms of the Banks Peninsula Conservation Trust submission, you've got the second 11, myself and my colleague. We are not Penny Carnaby or Marie Burnett, and we've not been engaged, for example, with yourselves to the same degree as they have. So, bearing that in mind as the last-minute replacement for them both, Penny kindly gave me some bullet points. And again, I won't read the submission, I'll just give you the notes that she would like emphasised. The first, the Conservation Trust is grateful for the current funding of grants which have been confirmed by the Council for the 12-month period from 1 July this year from the Environmental Partnerships Fund. The BPCT Operations Grant, the Feral Goat Eradication Program, Te Kākahu Kahokura, and of course the Pest-Free Banks Peninsula. The Feral Goat Eradication Program is extraordinary. It arose out of public concerns being raised. We're only focusing on possums and mustelids and rats, but goats and feral pigs are the real problem. Well, I'm pleased to say that from Gebby's Pass south, we should have eliminated all feral goats from the peninsula by the end of this year. It's taken a massive investment from the City Council. You should be patting yourselves on the back for that, but it's a remarkable elimination program. And feral pigs are a sort of an add-on to that program. So we see those ungulates being removed increasingly rapidly. We're pleased that the Biodiversity Fund has been kept at $400,000 in the 2023 annual plan. Aside from the great progress being made by Pest Free, the Conservation Trust is celebrating the signing of its 100th Conservation Covenant on Banks Peninsula. This is land gifted by landowners in perpetuity, and we're working on a catchment basis with landowners where there's a desire to do so to develop biodiversity and environmental plans. In addition, this is with help from a significant grant from MPI to do that. We've got 20 aligned organisations and agencies who've signed an MOU to work together on Te Kākahu Kahokura on both sides of the Southern Port Hills to achieve biodiversity gains. So with your superb help, we've managed some really good gains in the Trust. Going forward, we've been enormously grateful for the regular meetings the Trust staff have had with some councillors over several years to try and resolve certainty of operational funding and support for our habitat protection, especially with BPCT covenants. We've been advised informally that the Council has allocated $600,000 to the Trust over 3 years. This grant is from the Better Off funding. It's unclear what requirements will come with it, but once it's confirmed, the Trust's covenanting program will be able to continue with renewed certainty. We're delighted and grateful for this support. It helps us stick to our knitting, which is covenanting and enhancement of biodiversity on the peninsula. Do you have any further comments you'd like to make?
No.
No? Okay.
David, if you could carry on into your next one would be great.
Do you have any questions on Banks Peninsula Conservation Trust, bearing in mind that I'm not Penny or Marie? Okay. Well, thirdly, my third submission is on behalf of myself and my wife, Carol, sitting in the back. And it's a personal submission, but it's in support of the written submission from